Okay, let's see here. Let me jump back to the dashboard. Okay. And I'm going to jump to listing, single image, or video. You can do multi-image as well. I'm just going to do the single image today, and I'll explain. There's one minor difference between the two in terms of setting these up. So we jump into here. So Dan, to your point before, do you get to pick what Facebook page that you want that ad to run on? The answer is yes, right? Remember I have two connected. So whatever you have connected, you'll see in this drop down. And I had Spiker Group Properties as the default that I wanted to default to. So I can change that if I want to Santa Clarita Real Estate Buzz. If I do that, you'll see over here in the preview that it's changing it over to that page. But I'm going to keep it at Spiker Group Properties. And if you want to link a new page, remember what we just went through the Facebook pages. If you click this link a new page, you'll go through that same process right here and link a new page if you want to. Okay. In terms of listings, excuse me, click there. I'm going to search by address, 23257 Sherwood. I typically find just putting the street number and the street name will get you to the listing. So here it is, 23257 Sherwood Place in Valencia. Going to select that. Done. Okay. So you'll see on the right, you'll see that this just updated, right? It's pulling the very first image that's in the listing. And then it's just adding some text by default, and we'll talk about how you can change that in a moment. So this is a listing of ours. If you don't have your own listings and you're trying to generate buyer leads, you can certainly run an ad for somebody else's listing. I would say, by all means, contact that agent, typically within KW, right? Within your market center, contact that agent, and just as a courtesy, right? You want to check with them to make sure it's okay to run an ad for their listing. Typically, if you're spending money to get them a buyer, for you to bring them a buyer, they're going to be okay with that. But you can actually, I just found this as our listing, but I could have searched for another listing that was another agent's and put it in here to run an ad. Okay. Listing location, this is where you set where you want to target the ad to. So by default, since I put the listing in here, it's in Valencia. The manager understands that Valencia is where this listing is, and so that's what it's setting as the center point. Minimum 15 miles, which is a restriction because this is a real estate ad by Fair Housing. You can't go in any closer than 15 miles. It has to be a minimum of 15 miles. But you can go up to 50 miles if you want to. You just slide this slider to decide what you want, 15 miles. If you just want to do it around the listing, that's what you can do. If you prefer to set a custom location, you can do that here. And in this instance, you can put up to 10 different locations that you want to be target points for this ad. So for example, this home is in 91354. I could select that. I don't know, maybe I want Burbank to be a center point. Sure. Palmdale. Sure. Right. You can select up to 10 different locations that you want to be center points. And what it's doing is it's taking this location and then putting 15 miles around each of those center points in terms of where it's targeting the ad. Okay, so that's your choice. If you know, like I know in Santa Clarita Valley, there are a lot of folks who are moving from LA, right, to San Fernando Valley up to Santa Clarita Valley. Maybe I want to target down there, right? Maybe I do want to do within Santa Clarita Valley, but maybe I also want to target it down in Burbank and Palmdale. And this is one of the additions, actually, one of the improvements. If you went into the Facebook ad manager, you could put multiple locations, but you couldn't in the previous ad manager that we had within Command. You actually had to set up separate ads. In this case, you can put multiple locations and just run that one ad against those different locations. Cool.
Hey, Doug. So on here,
Yeah.
what you did is when you did custom location, you added the city that you have the current listing in and added targeted cities that you think people are coming from.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I typically do, actually. And I added the city back in because if you go to custom location, it's not, unless you put the location.
Yeah, that was my question.
It's not going to target on listing location any longer.
Sweet, thanks.
Make sense?
Essentially, you could target a whole different city that the listing's not even in and not
Right.
include the city that it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, media type. So in this case, you can choose an image, or if you wanted to upload a video, I'm not going to do that right now, but you can upload a video, select from the media library, comes to the media library, and you can click to add media. So you would upload the video here and then choose it. Just note that for a video, it has to be an MP4 format, and the maximum size is 90 megabytes. So just be aware of that, right? But you could put a video here and you'll see that it's gonna, if you upload the video, it's gonna substitute it into the ad. Single image, we go back to image, again, it's picking the first image that's in the listing. The app and the manager does pull in the first 20 images from the listing. So you can choose from any one of those to put on the ad. And so for example, and you'll see it update over there, right?
Those
in
limits, the
ground
MP4 and the 90 megabytes, are those limits imposed by command or by Facebook or what?
I believe that's a Facebook limitation, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I've
typically,
run a couple different tests on these too, and
Yeah.
I've seen that actually image ads typically perform better than video ads, especially when you're trying to get people to click on things. If someone's able to watch the entire video without having to click on something, then they're typically going to scroll past. So you can always try, multiple options, but image ads typically seem to work or perform a little bit better.
that's a great point. I've had the same experience, actually. So whether it's a single image ad or a multi-image ad, remember there was another card for multi-image, and the only difference between this ad setup and that ad setup is instead of just having one image, there are 5 images that appear here. It pulls in the first 5, but then you can switch them out to whichever 5, or you can even just put 4 in if you want to. And that creates a carousel, which just shows the first image and then a part of the next one. And people can scroll through those if they want to. Either way, the single image or the multi-image from our standpoint, at least from from what we've done, seem to perform equally well. But you can run whichever you want.
Yeah, I think the thing to think about too is the goal is to get them to click on this thing. So if you're giving them all the pictures of the house where they don't have to actually click on anything to find all the information, you kind of want to withhold something that forces them to actually click on it.
Yeah. And so this learn more, that's what they would click on, right? And when they click on that, that's when they get the Facebook lead form that pops up. That has their name, phone number, email address, and then they have to submit that in order to get to anything else. And anything else will show you in a moment what that anything else is going to be, right? So, so again, the body text here, which is what appears right here, and then the headline, which is what appears right here. These just default to this, right? Beautiful new home in city. It's just pulling Valencia in. That's coming right out of the listing. Just listed at price, right? Coming right out of the listing. And then the address is right here. So it defaults to the address. I'll be honest with you, when we create these, we never put the address in the headline or the body text. Because again, that's more information. It's to Cameron's point, it's kind of holding back some information so they, to incent them to click through and get more about the home. So we may just take this off and go, excuse me, great. Let's see, North Bridge home. What I may do is just put price. Right, so it has the price there. Here, you can switch this up to whatever you want to. If you want to type something else, that you have found has been effective when you've run ads in the past for the body text, you can type that whatever you want. But what I want to show you, this is also available in the headline, but it's typically more useful in the body text, is right here, this little magic wand. If you click this, it's bringing up a pop-up where you can update the text here, or you can see this suggest with AI, and there's any style that you want to choose. So you could say vibrant. Okay, and it just suggested it just listed price for this, the price for this beautiful home in Valencia, perfectly suited for those seeking ultimate social experience. Come and join us today, right? If you don't like that, hit the reboot. It'll bring up something new. And what it's doing is, what the AI is doing is actually looking at the description and all the details that are within the listing of the home in order to generate a description, right? And you can just keep reiterating this. So this is exactly the beautiful, completely updated single family detached home in Valencia Northbridge, perfect for entertaining, has it all, 4 beds, 3 baths, bonus nook, high ceilings, abundant natural light, updated kitchen, includes granite counters and stainless. That is coming right out of the description of the property, right? And it has encapsulated it. So that could be, I could say, hey, that looks good. Now, the one thing that I want to make sure of that you do if you use the AI description is to make sure you read through it. AI does not necessarily know all of the fair housing, restrictions associated with what you put in a description. And so you just want to read through that and make sure that, that it looks like it's good for advertising, particularly with respect to any rules that are associated with your MLS board. Okay, but it will generate options for you, and you can just go in and edit those and then save them. Cool.